Our week 8 introduction to CIS 260 material, and besides the midterm exam, I also would like you to email me regarding this element in our sessions that I would like you to email me as a group, if you're working as a group or as an individual, and reserve a time slot the week after the spring break, which would be the week of, as of Tuesday, the 22nd of March or the 24th of March, right? And so we're just gonna sit down, and I need to go over with you, to talk about the use cases, to talk about your plans to implement the semester project, and just make sure that I understand exactly what your plans are, and I understand exactly what your challenges are, and so forth. So we need to meet, and this is going to be our week after the spring break. So please email me all these time slots during our regular session times are available. So just tell me which day and which time slot you prefer, and email me, and we'll sit down. Everybody's welcome to sit down on someone else's team interview, and we can basically keep it as a collective conversation. So that's after the spring break. All right. The next thing for us is to start talking about structures. So it's basically we're gradually moving from use cases, right? Switch over to this. From use cases, we're going, which we say use case analysis model. We're going to analyze use cases and start discussing class design, right? So we're going to begin to analyze which classes we would like to use in our applications, and it's basically analyze the use cases and begin to understand what kind of structure, right? What kind of structure support we need for the implementation of our use cases. So as I said at the beginning, we would like to also analyze or look at some examples of design patterns. Useful design patterns, because they're good case studies for us to rely on, and they introduce some interesting ideas. So today, let's perhaps do a little bit of practice with this. Okay, first thing, I'm thinking about this small application that I would like to try some sort of prototyping of. What if I'm thinking about some sort of a work schedule? Right? Work schedule to me sounds like a collection of time slots, right? So we have some sort of time slot idea. And if we can create a collection of time slots, right, multiple time slots kept by the work schedule, then that may be a possible implementation of it. So the time slot would naturally be like, this is a work schedule, so I would like to schedule, so I'm thinking about the examples of the occupation of these time slots might be, for example, a workday time slot, right? There could be a, let's do, workday. We're gonna use weekend slot, right? Then we can use a holiday slot, right? And then we can also use perhaps sick day, right? So if someone calls in and says I'm taking a sick day or number of sick days, we could enter it on a schedule and have that kind of entry. All right, so then we have these, and I'm already thinking about these individual types of time slots as being classes which possibly derive from the time slot, right? So that I can create a collection of this variety, right? So I can have a collection of these. So in terms of the time slot parameters, I'm thinking start time, end time, right? Then definitely some sort of like an employee ID, right? So if this is a work schedule, so this is for some kind of company setting. Employee ID. Of course, it would be pretty helpful to have employee class with the typical employee attributes right here, which I'm going to skip right now because this is sort of something obvious, right? Employee ID, employee name, social security number, or whatever else I want to store with my employee. Okay, and then the time slot can also have something like compute pay, and that compute pay could be given the pay rate, which is stored with pay rate over here, which is stored with employee. So if I pass pay rate, compute the duration of this time slot, then I can, compute the pay. So, of course, compute pay heavily depends on the whether it's a work day, weekend, holiday, sick day, and so therefore most likely this is an abstract method, and very likely that the time slot is also an abstract class if considering Java, right? So this is the thinking of a very simple, and typical set of needs for an application like this. I may also have some sort of like a main application class, right, which is responsible for getting things started and everything. So it creates the work schedule, and the work schedule has right here. The work schedule can have methods that allows to populate the time slots, right? So this is all kind of unfinished, but we will keep up with this sort of design as we write some code for it. So what are the challenges? Challenges in this application? Well, I think that the overall structure is pretty straightforward. There's nothing new in it to consider, except that perhaps in order for me to populate the time slot with the correct type, it's going to take someone to specify that type, and it's going to be some sort of decision making, whether I can also have access to the calendar and decide automatically whether this is my weekend or a work day or other type of time slot like holiday. Right, or I can let the user override it, but nevertheless, there's some decision making in terms of which one to create in order to populate my time slot, right? So the challenge is creation of a particular time slot, right? It needs to be decided which one to create logically and also technically how do we manage internally in the code? How do we organize ourselves to do this? All right, so let's since the technical details begin to pile up, let's just do a very quick switch over and add these classes quickly to propose certain methods that we may need to. Essentially, the goal here would be to be able to call this compute pay, right, and be able to populate some time slots and then say compute pay and compute some kind of dollar amounts that we have to pay our employees. All right, so that's certainly the plan to try and then demonstrate some design decisions that I would like to make in this application.